Hey guys, it's Mr. Kreider checking in. Next week of official activities here. We're doing a little bit of review. We're doing some new learning, depending on the class and depending on where we are in the curriculum. And so here we are still doing a review of chapters 1 through 12. And I just wanted to make sure you understand what you're doing. Okay, so let's lead off. First of all, your homework for tonight is to go through and take what I'm giving you in this video, reminding you of it, go back and double check your work, and then I'll post the correct answers later in the week on the classroom. You'll also, for your homework tonight, is to begin the translation. So at the bottom of this page here, you can see it has a translation. You are going to start working on that. I think it's lines 1 through 4. It says it clearly in the classroom. Make sure you have it done so that you're pacing yourself to be able to get done by the time that everyone will be done with it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look over the information that's necessary to know for exercise review 2D. Okay, and so they tell us to go to different pages. So first of all, it says go to page 64 to review. Well, on page 64, and I'm flipping there, you can flip along with me, please. On page 64, we can see that it has right there that some prepositions take accusative case and some prepositions take ablative case. Now, which one of our prepositions in Latin takes both accusative and ablative, and its meaning changes depending on what case the objects are in? Normally I'd wait 5 seconds, but the answer is in. In, when it's plus the accusative, is going to be into or onto. In, when it's plus the ablative, is going to be in or on. So that's why when we say into ad prope per takes accusative case, in ex ab sub takes the ablative case. Into ad prope per takes accusative case, in ex ab sub takes the ablative case. Remember that little ditty? Were you all singing along at home? All right, well, we're on to point number 2, and point number 2, and so you can go to page 64. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go to page 64, reread this, so you can do well on that exercise, okay? The next part, it says go to pages 90 and 91. Well, that's only a page or two before what we're actually working on, okay? And this is where they reviewed the ablative case, okay? And just as a reminder to you, some Latin hold on, I'm gonna start over. Some of these phrases, when we translate them in English, they're pause. Okay, my words, I'm getting excited. Let me try again. Some of the phrases that we see in English, when we translate them into Latin, they use prepositions. Some of these prepositional phrases, when we translate them into Latin, they don't use the preposition. And that's when we call them tricky syntax. Okay? So when they don't use the preposition, that's tricky syntax. When it does use a preposition, it's just a prepositional phrase. Okay? And so that's where that into ad prope per takes the accusative case. In ex ab sub takes the ablative case. That's all referring to that when they are using a preposition in Latin for a prepositional phrase. But there are times when they do not use a preposition. They say, we're succinct language. We're short. We're to the point. We're not going to get into all those extra fluff words like prepositions. We can assume that people know which preposition to use based on the ending on the word. And so the one that we see the most common in the tricky syntax category is ablative. And so they go into, in the book here, they go into 5 different tricky syntax. Right? They talk to you about ablative time when and ablative time within which. Sorry, I got below the screen. Over here at the top, they talk about ablative of means or instrument. And then down next, ablative of manner. And then lastly, they do ablative of respect. And ablative of respect is just basically going to be when they say nomine. Okay? When you say with respect to her name or by name or called is kind of what we would probably say. That is a review, and so that's why I went quickly. So if you have questions, put them in the comment box below. I'll be happy to answer them. And coronavirus delendos est. Maybe.